Ahmad Asil was pulled from that pool at the preserve at St. Nicholas Apartments back in March. He died at the hospital. Sky 4 flew over the scene on the same day of the incident. Today, the family's attorney filed a lawsuit against the apartment and its management, claiming the property managers knew the pool was dangerous and ignored the problem. News4Jax reporter Janice Harris was at the news conference this afternoon. She's joining us with details about this lawsuit. Janice.
I have the lawsuit here in my hand, and in this lawsuit, the family attorney says the preserve at St. Nicholas rejected to make the pool safe, even though the state and city required them to do so for months before 5-year-old Ahmad drowned. Ahmad Ismail Asil was a happy 5-year-old boy before his life was cut short when he drowned in a pool at the preserve at St. Nicholas, where he and his family lived. Today, the boy's father sat silently as the family's attorney, Seth Pajic, said the innocent boy with a bright smile would still be alive if the property managers had fixed and secured the out-of-code swimming pool.
The preserve at St. Nicholas and its property managers failed to take any of these steps, and as a result, a young child who lived at the complex is dead.
The lawsuit is asking for $15,000 in damages, but if the case goes to trial, a jury could decide for a larger amount. We tried to talk to the property management, but no one answered. According to the state and city documents, the Florida Department of Health shut down the pool in August 2017. Prior to that, people complained to the city about the pool in June of that year. A city inspector wrote, management needs to cover pool, drain, and fill to top with compact earth, restore to sanitary conditions, that the pool had unsafe or unsanitary condition and dangers to the public health, welfare, or safety of the community. On August 26, 2017, a city inspector wrote the owner has complied. 7 months later, the little boy drowned in the same pool.
It's been devastating for them. This is you can see this is a cute young boy, and they had come to America and just starting a new life.
The family hopes the lawsuit encourages other property managers to better protect children from unknown harm, so no one else has to lose a joyful, loving child like Ahmad. And I found another report that shows that the city came back here after the little boy drowned. It said that the pool, the gate was secured after he drowned. Now, Pajic says they're going to investigate that as well. But also today during that press conference, I found out there are 92 complaints against this property. More on the variation of those complaints coming up tonight at 6. Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
An old Jacksonville boy who drowned in a swimming pool at the preserve at St. Nicholas Apartments back in March is now suing the apartment management over the child's death. The little boy's father sat silently today next to attorney Seth Pajic, who said the apartment complex was negligent in the drowning. News4Jax reporter Janice Harris is joining us live from St. Nicholas to tell us about the numerous complaints that she's uncovered against the management of this complex. Janice?
Tom, dozens of complaints. In fact, according to the family attorney, 92 complaints since 2011. Another sign with regard to the pool behind me, as the attorney has said, this management team neglected to keep people safe. As a wrongful death lawsuit looms over the preserve at St. Nicholas in the drowning death of 5-year-old Ahmad Asil, I wanted to get the apartment management side of the story. We went back to the pool where 5-year-old Ahmad Asil died March 1st. It's still filled with water, despite the state and city recommending that it be covered, drained, or filled with dirt. A cement walkway to the pool is sliding into the water. A man with a shirt that said First Service Management for the property told me he couldn't comment and that management was not there. There are chains that keep the gates locked, but the family attorney says the damage is already done.
And in fact, I have a volume here, which is pretty thick, goes from December 11th of 2012 to the present of complaints filed with the city of Jacksonville against the preserve at St. Nicholas. And almost every one of these complaints has to do with the health and safety of the occupants there.
A binder full of 92 complaints from previous years.
Mold, bed bugs, roofs in disrepair, leaking roofs, and fences in disrepair.
When we drove around the property, we found boarded windows, uncut grass, exposed holes, and rotten wood. Pajic hopes this lawsuit keeps the apartment accountable. And this community is full of children. Another reason Asil's family hopes this lawsuit can make a difference for other children that still live here. The family has since moved away, but again, as you can see, that pool behind me is still full of water. Live in St. Nicholas, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
There is other news. We are following a local breaking news alert from Jacksonville's north side. There's been a deadly fire in a shed next to a house on West 21st Street. News4Jax reporter Janice Harris is live on the scene. What do we know?
What we do know is that an adult man was found dead inside a shed next to the home. If you look behind me, you will see that there are at least 2 people with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and the ATF is also here. The ATF just arrived in the last 3 minutes. They have a dog that is now walking throughout that shed. The body of the man was just removed in the last 15 minutes and taken away by the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. But this shed is located next to a vacant home that has a condemned sign stamped on it. And as you can see to the left, that home is falling apart. But the man was inside of that shed that you see them standing next to right now. All that we know is that he was an adult male. And when I asked, how was he burned? Where was he burned on his body? They said his entire body was burned. We're trying to find out more details as far as his age. We do not know that yet. Only that it was a man. We also are trying to find out how often people go in and out of this home, in and out of the shed. We have been talking to people in the neighborhood. One woman told me that she sees people going in and out of that shed all the time. Now, we know that the man's body was entirely burned, but according to the sheriff's office, that fire happened at around 9:48 this morning, and they were able to quickly put it out. We will continue to follow this story and learn more from people that live in this community, but I can tell you that this home is condemned. So the question is, why was that man in the shed in the first place? Live on the north side, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station. Yes, I did, and I'm still here at that McDonald's where the incident happened. I talked with those students earlier today off camera. They are still very upset, and they told me now that that man who attempted to attack them is out of jail, they fear for their safety. A group of exchange students from Egypt say they haven't slept much since they saw this man, 60-year-old John Smith. Witnesses say Smith pulled a knife on the students and tried to taser them while they were standing near their car. According to the report, Smith told the students, quote, "Get out of my country. You do not deserve to eat here." According to the report, the incident happened at this McDonald's in this parking lot. They were so afraid to show their faces, one student would only do the interview over the phone.
We're just mentally, psychologically, and physically drained, and this is like too much for us. It's like scary. We're scared.
A scary moment that led witnesses to calling police, and Smith was arrested. While sitting in the deputy's car, Smith said, quote, "I am an American. The guys by the vehicles were making ruckus, so I told them to get out of here, and one of them pulled a gun." But the report says no gun was found. According to the police report, John admitted putting his electric stun gun in the window of the exchange student's car and tried to shock them. Another deputy heard Smith say, quote, "They killed my son." Smith told police his son was a Marine who died in Afghanistan. I called Smith to get his side of the story, but he only said no comment. Smith is charged with aggravated assault with a weapon, burglary, and trespassing. Those exchange students now fear going outside. And because of Smith's comments, the charge could be modified to a hate crime. I also talked with the Islamic Center spokesperson locally here, and he said in part, quote, "As a Muslim American, as a human being, I am saddened and appalled by the tragic incident. First and foremost, I am saddened and can empathize with John Smith for having lost his son. But his loss does not give him a right to threaten and harm other innocent human beings. He caused a lot of emotional damage and some damage to the car the victims were driving. But this could have resulted in more serious harm to everyone." The rest of that statement you can find on our website, news4jax.com, with this story and the details. Live in St. Augustine, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.